The sounds are unmistakable. The sound of a locomotive whistle echoes through the hills. We count the line of cars rolling across the prairie. 75, 100, and then a caboose passes by. Americans have always had a love for railroads. There is nothing else like them. The building of American railroads was a special combination of steel, timber, and sweat, which linked our nation from the Atlantic to the Pacific. As explorers, entrepreneurs, and immigrants from across the world sought freedom and opportunity, the railroads and our nation grew up together. South Dakota's unique landscape spawned one of the most unusual and complex railroad histories in our nation, a history that has helped define us as a people and as a state. The trains have carried our hopes, our dreams, our riches, our bounty, our cultural treasures, and our families from past to present. By the time the Dakota Territory was carved into North and South in 1889, the railroad and the high plains were intertwined. Agriculture on the plains relied on the railroads, as did mining and timbering in the Black Hills. South Dakota was realized in large part thanks to the men, women, investment, and machines of the railroad. Automobiles, interstate highways, and aircraft, however, shook the railroad system to its core. By 1969, 100 years after the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, South Dakota had lost its last passenger service. In the next 2 decades, corporate mergers helped to bolster railroad operations. The times had changed, our needs had changed, but the value and importance of the South Dakota railroads had not. Today's fascination with trains remains romantic and stalwart. We are reminded of our history as we see long trains rolling across our state. We ride steam trains with excitement and a strong sense of nostalgia. We admire model trains and retain a place in our hearts for names like the Hiawatha, the 400, the Empire Builder, the Cannonball, the Zephyr, and even the city of New Orleans. Like all of America, South Dakota is far from through with trains. The South Dakota State Railroad Museum Limited is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization established for the purposes of preservation, education, promotion, and interactive interpretation of railroad equipment, memorabilia, and the ever-changing historical material specific to South Dakota and related American railroads. It is a destination designed for all ages and levels of interest. Museums like this connect us to everything we know and to what we have yet to learn, reminding us of times, places, and things, and of innovations that have shaped our past and present, and will shape our future. The South Dakota State Railroad Museum will bring to life the financial and political intrigue, the machinery, the people, the mythology, and the pure joy of perhaps the most romantic mode of transportation ever built. Whether you are a die-hard railroad or history buff, part of a railroad family, or a lover of cross-country train travel, the South Dakota State Railroad Museum Limited is a statewide project that you will be proud to support. In Hill City, which already boasts our premier recreational passenger train, the 1880 train, we will celebrate our colorful and varied history on rails with this historic enterprise. Located near the important tourism destinations of Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse Memorials, Hill City has become a thriving center of tourism and art. Along with South Dakota State Railroad Museum, other associated South Dakota and regional museums, historic railroad depots, and related sites will continue to provide South Dakota's unique story of regional railroading. Please join us for a singular journey on the High Iron. Join us on that journey that began a century and a half ago and remains a constant source of interest and importance today. Can you feel the rhythm of the rails? Can you hear that whistle calling in the distance?